Music production isn't cheap, as renting a studio, sound engineering, and clearing samples are big costs. Artists must always be in their creative zone to give the label the most profitable project possible. And that's how we get unreleased albums in hip-hop that have been forgotten for multiple reasons. Today, we're going to list down the 10 greatest hip-hop albums that never happened, so sit back and relax. Starting off with what could have been Kanye's most hyped-up project, Yandhi, at number 10. In 2010, Kanye West was getting people excited about his 9th album, Yandhi, which was coming out soon. He had been teasing the album for months, and after several delays, which he does a lot, the project still hasn't been released. That first Hurricane snippet was something else. But here's the thing, Yandhi is an example of how West usually responds to leaks by improving, fixing, or rethinking his work. And he's been able to do this partly because he has a lot of power, fame, money, time, co-writers, and producers, and so on. But he's also shown that he's a smart self-editor with usually good foresight. These Yandhi leaks aren't proof of such a radical reinvention, and they're not likely to start one. However, they're still a meaningful reset from a famous artist's creative low point, a bridge to whatever expensive finishing touches will come next. And according to The Blast, at first, the rapper was holding the project hostage because his label was having problems. But eventually, some of the songs ended up on Jesus is King, which came out in October of 2019. But Yandhi remains one of hip-hop's unanswered what-ifs. Next up, at number 9, Eminem's Relapse 2. After years of drug problems and a failed marriage, Eminem got clean and returned to hip-hop in 2009 with the album Relapse. And we heard the Grammy-winning album use a faux Jamaican, faux Scottish weird accent to explore his violent Slim Shady persona in a way that no other record had before. Well, he was going to put out Relapse 2, but critics and fans didn't like it, so he scrapped the idea and made Recovery, a goated album nonetheless. And this was the last we ever saw of his alter ego, Slim Shady. But interestingly, the album ended up getting a strong cult following many years after it came out, followed by Chance the Rapper and Childish Gambino's mixtape at number 8. In the summer of June 2014, Childish Gambino tweeted that he and Chance the Rapper had made a joint EP, and the news caused a big stir on the internet, mainly because of their unmatched chemistry in the studio. The duo had already worked together on songs like They Don't Like Me and Favorite Song, so it seemed like they would be a great pair for a whole project. And even though there weren't many details about the project, which the two say has turned into a full-length album, they both say that the yet-to-be-named collaboration is still on the agenda. But we'll believe it when we see it. Also, in the fall of 2017, Glover joked, "I feel like a bunch of 14-year-olds will kick if I don't make a double mixtape with Chance the Rapper." And when he was asked about working with him, Chance said that they spread that rumor for a long time without recording anything. But they did get together in Atlanta and record some songs. And according to him, they are great. Do your thing, Martin Shkreli. Not to mention at number 7, we have Dr. Dre and Ice Cube's Helter Skelter. After leaving NWA and Ruthless Records, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube said that they would make a joint album called Helter Skelter. Dre told Yo MTV Raps in 1993 that they were going to do this. And the next year saw the former group members release the single Natural, which was on the soundtrack for the movie Murder Was the Case, and this added to the buzz around what many people thought would be a huge hit. Well, the album was supposed to come out in January of 1995, but it didn't because Cube left the country to film the 1997 movie Dangerous Ground, and Dre was busy with Aftermath Records. According to Cube, he was ready to move forward with Helter Skelter, but there is no sign of the project currently, and it probably never will. What's next? The Cure by RZA at number 6. As the sound designer behind the Wu-Tang Clan's string of classic group and solo albums, RZA's first solo album, The Cure, probably got much more attention than it should have. And well, many people expected a grand magnum opus like Wu's other albums. The Cure was first announced in November of 1998 and was supposed to come out in the spring of 1999, after the album he made under the name Bobby Digital, but it was pushed back indefinitely. The project, which was thought to be his last studio album, The Cure, was delayed. The Cure is one of the most popular albums in Soul Brother RZA's discography, but he claims that it never got released because he wasn't living up to what inspired him when writing this album. Real talk. Now let's look at number 5, why Dr. Dre's Detox album never came out. After leaving Suge Knight's Death Row Records and the millions of dollars that he made with his solo debut, The Chronic, people doubted Dr. Dre. And Dre being Dre, he proved them wrong when he started Aftermath Entertainment and helped Eminem, a great hip-hop artist, get his career started. Safe to say, his second album, 2001, solidified his position as a rapper. Then, as a follow-up, he planned Detox, which his right-hand man called the most advanced rap album musically and lyrically. But it never happened because, long story short, Dre was too much of a perfectionist, so the album became another great what-if in hip-hop. Not to forget Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole's awaited link-up at number 4. Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole have been working together for years. From collaborating on songs to doing guest appearances at each other's shows, their creative partnership is never-ending. Kendrick first teased Temptation, a song that he produced and on which J. Cole had a verse, during an in-store for his first album, Section 80, in 2011. He later said that he and J. Cole were working quickly, and added that Shock the World was one of his favorite songs from those sessions. And in the years that followed, both artists artists confirmed that they were working on a joint project. But in 2012, J. Cole said that they had decided to make it an album instead of a mixtape, which was what they had originally planned. Aside from Kendrick Lamar's feature on Forbidden Fruit from Born Sinner, and the two of them trading freestyles over each other's beats on Black Friday in 2015, they haven't linked up again. But now is a good time for the duo to give the public what they've been waiting for, since both artists are at the peak of their careers and have the privilege of being multi-platinum selling icons. Can you imagine a J. Cole feature in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers Deluxe Edition? Because we can. Coming up next, One Nation by Tupac Shakur at number 3. In the spring of 1996, Tupac Shakur said that he was working on a new One Nation project. And in his own words, it was going to be a collaboration between the East Coast and West Coast. We can all agree that it was an exciting time, especially when he led the West Coast gang against P. Diddy, the head of Bad Boy Records, and the Notorious B.I.G., who were from the East. But sadly, the project that was supposed to bring the world peace and be a way to bring the two sides together never happened because the fight got too bad and led to the loss of two of the best rap artists. Another case of what could have been. Now for number 2 on the list, Andre 3000's solo album. After they put out Idlewild, Outkast decided to take a break, making fans want Andre 3000 to come out with a solo album. Surprisingly, in 2008, Big Boy said that he and Andre would put out solo albums that following year. Big Boy kept his promise, with Sir Luscious Left Foot, the son of Chico Dusty, which came out in 2010. But fans wanted a solo album from the better half of Outkast. And in 2012, 3 Stacks hinted that he might make a solo album, but he wouldn't say more. And this has been a pattern in the years since. But apart from his 2 features with Frank Ocean and on Donda's Life Hardy, we haven't heard much from him recently. Last but not least, at number 1, we have Yeezy and Hove's Watch the Throne 2. We all remember Kanye West and Jay-Z working together on 2011's legendary album Watch the Throne, which had hits like Otis and Ends in Paris on it. This project cemented their status as hip-hop's best duo, which began as a rapper and producer relationship in the early 2000s. But a few years later, Ye publicly criticized Jay during his St. Paulo tour in 2016, and their relationship worsened. But last year, we saw Ye put Hove on his much-anticipated Donda album, and the duo also announced a sequel to Watch the Throne. Wake up, Mr. West, it was all a dream. That's all for this video. What are your thoughts on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.